welcome back to another episode of Classified Lady. It's me, Dr. H, the Global Mentor Coach, and of course, Coach Renee Roberts is joining me as always. And today we have a fantastic topic because, listen, I think that is really important as we are on this healing journey as Black women that we have safe spaces.
Yeah.
Or find ways to be a safe space for ourselves. You know what I mean? Obviously, ideally, you want to have safe spaces where you can go and be
Right.
your authentic self and express yourself and feel what you feel and go through what you go through without, people weaponizing it against you or
Mhm.
talking about you or whatever the case may be, right?
Right.
And so I really think that it's necessary to have this kind of conversation so that, again, we can't reach a place of wholeness and be healthy as individuals or as a community if we are not creating safe spaces for each other. And
Yeah.
in environments and climates like this, it is so crucial
Yeah.
that we have safe spaces to land, safe spaces to be, safe spaces where we can cuddle up with each other and
Yeah.
have warm conversations where what we say here stays here, or we can find ways to, you know what I'm saying, help each other, overcome. Because at this point, friend,
Yeah.
at this point,
Right. Right. It's like, I'm thinking, with Black women in safe space, it's so funny that, we're talking about this because I came across someone on TikTok and she's created a safe space for Black women who are deconstructing and healing from religious trauma.
mm-hmm.
Beautiful page, very well spoken. And she responded to a comment, by another race, that commented, it would be wonderful. And it's not verbatim, but, she was pretty much saying it would be wonderful if all women could be a part of this because Black women are not the only women that are
Well,
deconstructing
I see that all the time.
from leaving
Anything
a
focused on
church.
Black women or Black. It's why
So
we can't open it up to all. That's like that. To me, it's
listen,
that all lives matter stuff. And that irritates me because if it's truly about all, why are we getting rid of inclusivity? If it's truly about
right,
all, why
right.
are we always excluded? Why is it that when we create spaces for ourselves and each other, it's a problem for other people? But at the
Yeah,
same time, y'all on TikTok, y'all the same people on TikTok talking about, well, when white people create our white only communities, y'all Black people got a problem. No, we ain't got a
no,
problem
we
with you. We don't
don't.
have
We
a
could
problem
care
with you. We had
less.
our own communities. You don't know how to mind your business and leave us alone. You always
Right,
coming over here, or
right.
you shop in
Congratulations.
our communities, or
Yeah,
you want to tell lies, and then our communities get burnt to the ground, or you want an eminent domain because you want to gentrify and take over what we have. And
yeah,
so then you push us out the way. Central Park, hello. Central
yeah,
Park, New York.
yeah, yeah,
Hello, Uptown New York, Manhattan.
yeah.
So that BS, please don't piss me off.
But
On,
the
on, on Kendrick Lamar's internet, y'all get out here and say all kinds of. It's like when we
yeah,
do create the spaces, it's like, why y'all just can't leave us alone? It's like, did you see the video this week with the white woman who said, if we run Black people, Black and brown people out of America, we have no culture. You're running the culture away.
no, I didn't see that.
The white woman said she's sick of it. She was
Wow.
like, white people need to sit down and shut up. If you run Black and brown people out of this country, you're running. We will have. There is no
Yeah,
culture. You're
yeah,
literally taking all the culture away,
yeah.
and you'll have it. She said, "I'm sick of it. I'm pissed off." She said, "I'm sick of it. I'm
And
disgusted.
she
Leave
white.
me alone." And she was like, "Baby, her podcast, she went off. I'm gonna send it to you, friend.
Oh,
I
I
gotta
think
send
I
it to
know
you."
who you. It's the two ladies who have the podcast.
My girl went off.
I have to go and watch this one to see what she.
Cause she was like, I'm sick of. She was like, y'all out here on this food, but she went off. I was like, okay, for accountability and allyship, for
Yeah,
real, for
yeah,
real. Cause leave
yeah,
us alone when we are to ourselves and mind our business.
yeah, yeah.
You don't
That.
leave us alone. So I'm sorry. I just,
No, you're fine.
ooh.
You're fine. But that same lady, her page, she responded very professionally, and she's like, this is for Black women only. She says, and why would I? She said, I don't feel safe with white women. I don't feel safe around white.
Correct.
But what I thought was so interesting was the comment, because I'm one of those the comments. I'm one of those comment readers. Like I'll see it, and I'm going straight to the comments. So I go in the comments, and a lot of Black women were saying, if you change this to being inclusive, I'm leaving the
We
group.
out. Hmm.
They're like, we need our own safe space. We need a safe space to process, to be vulnerable, to expose our injury. Like we need that space, you
Hmm.
know? And I think it's so important. I feel like looking on the other side
Hmm.
also, Black women, we have to understand what that means, because
Hmm.
sometimes we can make our own spaces unsafe.
Hmm. Because we screenshot and share and send it and this and that and da
You
da
understand
da.
what I'm saying? Or we become so argumentative. We're so,
Hmm.
like I cannot stand to see us badger one another. Like if I'm in a space with you, sis, like let's be collective in this.
Right.
Let's heal together. Or if
Correct.
you already got it together, help
And
me.
maybe this is not the space for you.
Or maybe exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So
I
we
think
have
that
to
what
be
we're seeing, I
careful.
think a lot of times people are triggered, like y'all just saw me get triggered just now. I have no problem saying I'm here. I think that a lot of times I think there are a lot of times people are not aware that they're triggered, number one. And number
Mhm.
two, they don't know what to do with that.
Yeah,
We are encountering a lot of unhealed versions of ourselves, especially in, virtually.
yeah,
And this is the reason why I'm always saying touch grass. Get
yeah,
outside and connect with people in real life,
yes,
because
yes.
virtual communities are fantastic. They're great and they're doing a lot for us. But there's nothing like being physically connected and
Connected.
touching and having
Yes,
conversation, even in
yes,
small
yes,
groups or
yes,
what have you,
yes.
with other Black women that you have things in common or that you don't even know that you have in common until you connect. And it's
Mhm.
like, oh, yeah, okay, I see. The only thing I would say is, and a lot of times, I don't care if it's virtual or in person, when we have these safe spaces for these groups and different things, you have to be careful about trauma bonding, because
Right.
in the healing
Ooh,
process, people will want to trauma bond with you. They just want to, they want to heal, but they also want to trauma bond,
yeah,
because sometimes they reach
yeah,
a point where, because healing is painful, and they want to stay there. They don't want to work through that pain. Healing is not linear, and it definitely is not without pain and scarring.
exactly,
And
exactly.
so that's when people really, when you reach that point of, I don't want to do this anymore. I just want the feel goodness
Mhm,
of
mhm.
of these safe spaces in these groups. And until they reach a point where they want to move past that, you have to be careful in those spaces. And that's where you have to have your own discernment. That's something in you, that women's intuition that we have, that tells you, okay, I need to move on, or let me
Right.
tread carefully, or let me figure out how to form my words when
Mhm.
I'm talking to this person, so that I can help them heal, because I see it, right?
Yeah,
Maybe I've been there, done that, and I'm on the other side of the same thing that they're feeling and going through, and maybe I can help them, for instance, identify a trigger.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Right,
that they
right.
know XYZ. But I think that we need these safe spaces. And I'm glad that you made the point about, the fact that sometimes we can be our own enemies, right? It comes from within. Rome fell from within.
Yeah.
Nero was
Yes, it
fiddling
did.
while it
Yes,
burned, but it fell from within. And a lot of
absolutely.
times, as Black women, we're trying to come together, and we're trying, and you do have these collectives where it's successful, but
Yeah,
there's
yes.
always that some. It's always the Candace Owens that's out there. It's always, you know what I'm saying? Those ones that we say all skin folk and kinfolk, right? And
Right,
so, and
right.
people will talk to you, and then sometimes you outgrow folks,
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah,
people want, people have a desire to want to rock with you,
yeah.
but they don't have the stamina.
Mhm,
And so then
mhm.
they start competing against you
Yeah,
for
yeah.
no reason. You know what I'm saying? And they start doing the, and I don't think sometimes, I honestly don't think that some women, especially Black women, I don't think we know that we do it at times.
No, we
Because you
don't.
got to guard your heart. And other times it's kind of like, I don't think it's intentional. I genuinely
Yeah,
don't. I think that because of circumstances, we react
Yeah.
to external forces rather than doing the internal work, and finding ways of getting ahead without hurting each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
I,
then venting, knowing to, if you're going to vent about somebody, vent to that person.
right. Just be straight up. Like, stop all of that type of behavior, because that is transgenerational, honey. That is passed down from grandma to them, great grandma to them. Like, we remember that we could, I know personally, I can remember the
Hmm.
talking about each other,
Hmm.
and I'm thinking, safe space,
Yeah.
that means that this is supposed to be emotionally and psychologically safe for my
Mhm.
well-being. Like, my well-being should be okay in this space.
Yeah.
That's what makes it safe, right?
Yeah.
Not just being able to share secrets and share trauma. That's just one aspect of it. But
Yeah.
the global look is, am I emotionally and psychologically safe in this space? Because if I'm not, it's time for me to move on. I don't care if
Right.
it's all black or not. Like,
Correct.
it's time for me to move on. And
Right.
but there are some successful ones out there. I'm a
Oh,
part of one.
yeah.
I think it's
Absolutely.
absolutely amazing, and I love how the leader is very, like, no nonsense. Like, if she detects you coming in here and
On
it's
some
you're about
foolishness.
to tell me, you won't get blocked out. Like, I
Yeah.
love it because it
Yeah.
makes me feel safe. No,
Correct.
I can talk about what I need to talk about and not feel like I have to
And not feel
put on,
judged or tiptoeing
or the
and all
whole
that
code
stuff.
switching. You understand what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
That's exhausting in and of itself. Yeah. No, I mean, here's the thing. If I can't trust you, because us being a safe space means I can trust you. That means
Right.
that you're helping me heal and you're without judgment,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You're not pillow talking behind my back and then what I'm saying one thing to
Yeah.
my face and saying something behind my back, or you know what I mean, you're not venting to other people about me without giving me an opportunity to work through it or without helping me work through it, right? If you lack the ability to help me work through what I'm going through, I respect you more if you say that. Just
Right.
come to
Just be
me and
honest.
say, friend, sis, I can't identify and I'm struggling to be supportive in this
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
I need to take a step back, or it's more than I can handle, or whatnot. And I respect that more than just being weird, moving funny, talking about me behind, because I promise you, the kind of person that I am, I know.
Yeah.
I know. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. You feel it.
And
We're intuitive by
I'm still,
nature.
and I'm and at this point in my life, I'm not checking people no more because you know what you're doing. You're
Right.
an adult, you know what you do. I'm not giving energy to that because now that's counterproductive to my healing, and now I'm distracted by that nonsense.
Oh my God.
Guess what I'm doing?
I
I'm
just
gonna
told.
move accordingly because trust is earned, but it also must be maintained. So when
Absolutely.
just like trust is earned, distrust is earned, and both are maintained by how you move. So
Yeah.
when you move, I move just like that. Please understand. Listen, y'all, if y'all can't handle me talking in any type of song or rhyme or rhythm, you
I
can't be
love
friends
it.
with me
Me
because
too.
this
I'm the
is who
same
I
way.
am.
It,
I
it,
will
it
break out in
gets
random
triggered.
song or lyric in a minute. That's me. I promise. I do it all the time. You got to rock with me. I'm kind of, that's
I
how I
got you. I'm ready.
do.
Let's go. Let's
Because when you
hey.
move, I move just like that. So when you wild out, please understand I'm gonna govern myself accordingly. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
sometimes the moment I get an inkling that you're not safe, that I can't trust you.
I think what's missing, honestly, maybe Black women as a collective, not talking about any
Yeah.
individuals, but as a collective, maybe we need like some type of training, I should say safe space etiquette. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like you said, it's not intentional a lot of times. Sometimes we
No.
we are okay, if I have the freedom to show up as my authentic self, but my authentic self does not align with the etiquette within this
Yeah.
space, like, how do I know? How do I shift that without some type of design that says,
Correct.
girl, when we're in these spaces, you don't call another black woman angry or difficult, or like, we don't know
Exactly.
these things though, because a lot of
Yeah.
times this is just how we function and this is how we're
Yeah.
moving in the world. And if I'm showing up as my, they got to take me as I am, and blah blah
Yeah.
blah blah blah. But
But it's
sis,
programming, and we don't realize that we've been programmed in a
right,
lot of ways. In a lot of,
right,
again, we say it all the
right.
time, it's generational, it's handed down. Just like I believe that, and it's going to be another conversation, but I believe that a lot of Black women don't know how to be friends. I don't
No,
think it's that
they don't.
it
They
seems
don't.
like we can't be friends with one another. I just think that genuinely there are Black women, there are a lot of people out there, period, that don't know what it is to be a friend.
No,
They genuinely don't know.
no.
And I've encountered this so many times. They know how to be friendly, but being
Right.
friendly and being a friend are not the same. They do
They're
not
not
coexist.
synonymous.
And I
Right.
think that that's another thing that
Yeah.
it sounds weird. But if you have not had an example of healthy love, a healthy relationship, I was just talking to a friend the other night. She was like, I didn't grow up seeing healthy love. I
Right.
don't know what a healthy love looks like. I want that, but one of the reasons why I don't engage and get into a relationship is because I don't want to damage someone else because I don't have a track record or any examples of that. And I talked her through that, but that's fair, right? That's
Yeah.
her being accountable and working
Right.
through, working
Right.
through that. And it's something that she was like, I worked through it. That she's working through in therapy. But I think that this is also true because if you don't have an example of what friendship is, and
Right.
all you got is what's on TV and social media, that's not real.
No.
Because friendship is loyalty. It's having conversations. It's doing unto others. It's really, yes, showing up as yourself, but it's also patience with each other, understanding, and it's saying,
It's
we're gonna grow together even when
absolutely.
what you do makes me uncomfortable, but I'm loyal.
Yeah.
Loyal means I'm not talking about you behind your back. I'm gonna say what I gotta say to your face and help you grow through
Yeah.
it, even if it makes me uncomfortable saying it. But I'm gonna find a way to speak truth and love and power to you so that I want you to be your best self. I don't
Yeah.
want to see you just sit here and suffer needlessly. But if
Mm.
I need to hold a mirror up to you and show you you,
Yeah.
and then we work through it together, then let's do that rather than ghosting people,
Yeah. All
rather
of
than
the
dissociating.
maladaptive behavior. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Rather than coming up with weird excuses and behaviors, and you know what I'm saying, just doing. I think that
Yes.
genuinely, and or they have this toxic one-sided thing where everybody needs an Oprah, and I get to be Gail because I'm Oprah to other people. And
Yeah.
so
Just
I'm looking
stop.
for,
Can we
I'm
just
looking
be
to, like,
equal? Can
wait,
we
what?
just?
So y'all
Yeah.
think that that's not you think they've been friends all that time
Mm-mm.
without some reciprocity,
Mm-hmm.
without Oprah being able to find Gail a safe space and be able to share intimate things with her? Because
Mm.
you really think that woman let her rock with her all that time?
If
And
she
it's
didn't
not,
have
you
any,
think she
yeah.
will be carrying around dead weight, essentially. Being
No.
a bag lady, you gonna miss your bus. Oprah ain't missed her bus yet. Cause she ain't carrying around them bags, dragging
Right.
around them bags like that. She's not. And I think that that's part of the problem.
The jukebox is on. I love it.
Saying. But that's part of the problem. I think
Yes.
that we
Yes.
can't create safe spaces because we are not learned in a lot of areas.
Right. That's the key. We are not learning. I was just telling a client yesterday or Monday, one of those days. I'm like, the she felt when you said, I'm not gonna check it anymore, but she's in this phase of life where she wants to check everything. Like,
Everybody, yeah.
I had to check that. And
We're
I
gonna check
said,
you, boo.
right,
Because
so I said, I said, why do you have to fight all the time? And I feel like that is a lot of our black women's
oh yeah.
disposition where we are already on the defense. Like we are ready to rumble, literally,
Because
And
we've always had to face fight or flight.
right, that's
We have been
exactly.
preconditioned
Yeah,
and groomed to fight. All my life, I had to
had to
fight.
fight.
You know what I'm saying? We see it with our whole life. We've been Miss Sophia, right?
Right,
Deep
right.
down in some way. like I don't think people fully understood her character because the physical violence was just
It was just
that was
that
a
was the
reference. It was
that was
very
the
symbolic
external.
of the whole thing. Like her character
Yeah.
really absorbed all of the fight, the
The,
violence,
the
like everything
violations, the
that
yes,
black women
yes, yes,
experienced, the
yes,
rape
yes, yes.
of Mr. to Celie when she couldn't fight for herself, and
The
all
rape
of these
of
different.
those
Y'all need to read the
people
book.
in
Don't
her
just
own
watch the movie,
home.
but really read the
Yeah.
book and understand
Yes.
where Alice Walker was going with that. Because you have to understand that that outward abuse that paled in comparison to the
Please.
inward suffering. And when you find black women finally get to that point where at the end she just started laughing,
Yeah. That was the
you got to understand what clicked for her and what happened, because she
yeah.
went through that abuse and then she went through the silence, the humbling and the silence and the this and the that and the incarceration, like all of the injustice
Yeah.
that one, to me, her character really embodied. You know what I'm saying? All of the
Yeah.
injustice and things that black women suffer. And
Yeah.
so if you're always in fight or flight, because in some way we always have to fight for something, even if it's
Yes.
scraps. And
Yes.
it's like, again, you want what's in our hand, you want what we have to offer, but you don't want us. And it's like, how can you want to separate the essence
Mhm.
from the body?
Mhm. Yeah. We don't know any better though, you
No,
know?
we don't. Because all we doing is fighting. All
Right.
we doing is fighting, 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 because that's all
Oh,
we
and
fight.
I'm thinking like, okay, we don't we're not learned a lot of times. What do we do though? How do we become learned? We have to be
Correct.
open to being teachable in these
Yeah.
moments.
Who?
We can be some of the most unteachable people, as educated as we are. We could be so unteachable,
Because
I
I think
tell
the more knowledge we gain, the more we feel like, well, what can you teach me? What can you show me? And
right, and I'm
sometimes
thinking
it's the game of life will learn you if you don't allow yourself to be taught, right? And sometimes you here's the other I think part of it is we look down on people who we think
uh-huh. Hmm.
can't teach us nothing.
Right, and that's so wrong.
And you don't know what wisdom somebody else has because they might be younger than you. You don't know what their life story is, so they
Right,
may have a lot of wisdom that
that you don't. You
okay, just because somebody hasn't walked your path, so to speak, doesn't mean that
right,
they don't have any type of insight that they can share with you about whatever you're going through or what you might get ready to go through, because life is a teacher, right? And
right.
so to me, I think that opening ourselves up to be teachable is humbling, and too many of us have a lot of pride and arrogance because some of us are walking around with imposter syndrome, so we feel like we have to compete against the next black woman. And so, and again, it's patriarchy that has told us that white is right.
Yeah,
And so we have to fight. We also have to fight to dismantle that
yeah,
that thinking, that whole concept of white and only white is right. But if
right.
that was the case, we wouldn't be in a situation where they're literally trying to erase history and rewrite it,
Yeah,
right? Literally just got a video where they got Christopher Columbus saying that enslaving other people is okay. You can't you can't make it okay. You can't make that all right. You know what I mean? And so we have to get to a place that we start unpacking generational hurt, trauma, abuse, dysfunction, misinformation, disinformation,
yes,
intentional mind games,
yeah, yeah,
all of these things that are meant to control
yeah.
us
Hmm.
as a part of the economic system. Because remember, we have to remember that black women, we are an economic system, and right now, because we chose and dared to disrupt that economic system, and we continue to disrupt it regardless of what they do to us, we're still literally the economic system. We are the foundation of the economic system. It
Hmm.
goes back to slavery. They tell you, it's written down. Black women are we are the economic system. We are at the heart. So if they can control us, they can control the entire family and the system and the structure and how the money flows and where it flows and what our people do, what black
Yeah,
men do, da 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 da.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so understanding that,
That's the challenge.
mhm, because we don't want to go that far back.
No, I just I I really
No, we don't.
just I love our black women. Like I'm that girl. And I want us like I'm thinking I'm like I'm a 55-year-old scholar. I There's so much more for me to learn. I love learning just from validating other people's experiences. I don't have to be in your experience to glean from it or to value it. And sometimes our safe spaces, maybe you're not dealing with trauma, but sometimes you just need an ear that can say, girl, I feel you, like
Right,
to validate that this is my experience. Don't
right.
dog me though, and don't tell me, oh, you got a lot to learn and you're gonna grow. No, like that's so demeaning, and that does
Yeah,
not make the safe space, because
no.
the safe space shouldn't have a hierarchy.
I think that in a lot of ways, sometimes it's just being open to other people's perspectives without feeling like we need to be argumentative or change
Right.
other
That we
people's
have to have
minds
something to say.
just because
Look,
we want people to think like us and all this other kind of
right.
like our perspective is the only one or it's the right one. No, we can have two different perspectives. Now there are times where no, there are not two perspectives. It's this is it. But I think that a lot of times, here's the other thing too. This is how you can identify if you are a safe space or if you are a trustworthy person or if you're going in the right direction when it comes to helping other people heal. If you're a Me Too person,
Hmm.
probably not. What
Right.
do I mean by Me
Because
Too?
that's a
I ain't talking
bias
about the
there.
hashtag
Yeah.
either. I'm talking about every time somebody say something of that about their journey or what they're going through or where they're headed.
I had the same experience.
Right.
Yeah, no, stop. Stop.
Stop it.
Stop.
Because what
Because you
you're now
just
doing,
invalidated my experience. You
and you're
just
infringing upon that person's healing. And now
absolutely.
you just rob them of that moment to be
Absolutely.
free and to be able to express themselves without you taking it for them. So stop trying to do you hijack other people's moments. Do
Absolutely.
you like to hijack the conversation into a me too so that the attention is on you?
We can't
Because
no,
it's an
we don't.
attention seeking situation,
Yeah.
because that means somewhere in your life you are unseen and
Mm.
now you're taking an opportunity to be seen. But the whole point of being in the group is let it flow because
Yeah.
somebody
So
will see you.
everyone can be
When you're
seen.
doing all of that, I promise you, just because people may not say anything doesn't mean they don't see you.
Yeah.
I do stuff, and I used to do stuff on the people. Like people come to me years later, be like, "Yeah, I watched you so and so and so." I didn't even know that
Wow.
because I wasn't doing it for that
For
reason
that purpose, right,
or
right.
whatever.
Yeah.
And or sometimes even now, I'll have people that be like, I went back I went to your YouTube channel. I watched your videos from your earlier videos. I'd be like, Lord, I need to take these videos down and redo them. Like Jesus, when I didn't know what I was doing, I was just throwing stuff together. But they was like, oh, it's so motivational. It was this, it was that. And I was just, it's shocking. But at the same time, it's like, okay, I'm glad it did what I intended for it to do, because at the time I was proud of it. I look back and I cringe. I'm like, oh, it was my best work. But it was my best work for who I was, that version of who I was
Hmm.
then, starting out and playing around and trying things and doing different things and finding my way. And I think that it's okay. You know what I mean? To just do stuff and leave your footprint and know that when the time is right, you'll be seen. You don't need to be validated all the time. And I think that because our voices have been suppressed and we've been suffocated and overlooked for so long, that individually we feel like we need to fight to be seen and heard and validated, but we don't realize also how that hurts the collective.
Right.